Good morning. مزمور لأسف אלוהים נישא בבעד התל בקרב אלוהים שפוט עד מתי תשפטו העוול לפני רשעים תשאו סלע שפטו דל ויתום העני ורש הסדיqu. Tuesday. Very cold out today, but we're always warmed up by the words of the Torah. A beautiful minyan I went to this morning in Allenhurst, Allen Avenue. And at the end, there was a very nice class, which I haven't heard a class on Mishle for a very long time. I don't remember the last time I did, actually. And my brother, Mexican brother, Mr. Smeke, gave the class. Very nice. It was, things that I haven't heard in a knis in a long time. Mishle is like a forgotten book. But my topic today is about education. Not about the tuition, because I don't like money. Hate money. Especially when it's connected to children. Okay? And I want to give a brief overview of what I see happening in our yeshivas, which this is the most important topic. Not SIFA, not Y-Tech, not how do we solve the tuition. To me, it's already solved because regardless, my kids will go. Doesn't matter how much I could afford. I've seen it in my own life. When I had zero, I paid zero. And when I had something, I paid something. That doesn't matter. Good. Let's go to the important topic, the education itself. And specifically, the Torah education, which is the most important, right? Reshit Chochma Yirat Adonai, like the Pasuk says in Tehillim. The beginning of wisdom is the fear of God. Not any other wisdom. First you start, we fear God. And in any scientist that's a good scientist will tell you, we don't know it all. We just know what we know, and we try to discover more. This is Reshit Chochma Yirat Adonai. Now, where do we start? What's the biggest issue we face is illiteracy. We have a level of illiteracy, okay, of not being able to even read the basics. Aleph, Bet, Gimal, Dalet, He, Vav, Zayin, Het, Tet, Yod, Kaf, Chaf, Ayin. A level of illiteracy that is really deplorable for the amount of wealth that we have. It really is. To have this level of literacy compared to the amount of wealth that we have is nothing short of a crime. It's a crime not to humanity. It is to humanity, but it's a crime to children. I'll explain to you why. I've said this many, many times, but let me say it again. We have a 5-year window, ages 5 to 10, figure 1st to around 6th grade, where, and teachers will tell it to you, I've taught myself, anything you say to that child will be stored forever. Anything you do, any activity you do, any song you do, anything you do to these children, so they're very impressionable. That's why we're so against, the Democrat way of infusing the LGBTQ nonsense to children, because they're impressionable and they know that if you teach it at that age, it'll stay with them and it'll affect them for the rest of their lives. That's why they push for it. Now, us being Am Yisrael, what do we push? 5 to 10. Bereshit bara Elohim et hashamayim et haaretz. First thing you should ever hear. Or Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad. Right? This is the first things you should hear as a person living in the world, right? The first words you should hear are Shema Yisrael, or Bereshit bara Elohim, or Torah Sivvaran Moshe, Monashach Eilat Yaakov. Harambam says this, Ilchot Talmud Torah, go check it out. Now, that I could, let's say, start the first few Pesukim of the Mikra, they could probably finish Bereshit bara Elohim, yes. But if I did Ve'aretz Hayita Tohu V'Abohu, continue, blink. Vayayre Vayiboker, go, nothing. Zero. In Qol ve'in Qashib. There's no answer. Or you say, even whatever, Vayi Bishurun Melech. Continue. Nothing. And that we're focusing on even this Ashken. Let me tell you the history of it, because I've studied this really ad nauseum. Hamad Tub Abadi, may rest in peace. When he first came, he was hired as a rabbi, and he wanted to start Talmud Torah. Okay, we're going to send our kids to public school and have a Talmud Torah in the afternoon. Beautiful. Started it. They made a deal, paid him, and the powers of that be at the time, they went, and not with a bad intention, they went and they saw what was in the outskirts. What are the Ashkenazim doing? The modern Hebrew day school. And they got sold by the idea that if we copy that, we're going to be, let's say, in their eyes, as successful as Ashkenazim, which they were right. Because better to be within our community than not. On that, they were right. But then the story goes that they kept on lowering his salary, lowering, and he even to the point where he said, eventually I'm going to have to pay them to teach. So the story was, he quit. He said, yeah, that's what you want to do to the Torah. That's what you want to do. No problem. I'm out. And he started selling whatever he sold, and he was successful at it. And his kids and grandkids are successful people in our community, and we still say Ashkabah for him, and we all stand up. I remember many times in Park Avenue Shul and many other places where they still say Ashkabah. Hamatlub, probably the top posek of the 20th century in our community. Again, his book is largely ignored. Magen Ba'adi, largely ignored. We go first to the Mishnah Brura. We have Mishnah Brura. Hello, you have Chacham Atub Abadi's Teshuvot. Also, when was the last time any of our rabbis wrote a Teshuvah? Right? Things like, okay, is electricity on Shabbat? Elevator, we were just discussing it on Shabbat. Well, what elevator on Shabbat? What do? The hotel key on Shabbat. What do? Now everything's asur? Everything's asur? Not if you ask Hamatub Abadi. He would do a whole investigation and see if any of the current halacha applies. And he would tell you his real opinion on it. Where are these Talmidei Chachamim? What happened to them? With this level of wealth, we can't produce one Chacham Atub Abadi? Not one? Again, no voice and no one's listening. So this 5-year window, in order to create these Talmidei Chachamim, who marbim shalom ba'olam, right? They bring peace onto the world. Talmidei Chachamim. You guys, a 5-year plan. Don't I'll tell you, I had a meeting once with someone that wanted to hire me, and they're like, okay, Abe, what's your curriculum? I'm like, so I had a Tanakh with me. I'm like, here, there's the curriculum. Here you go. Full Tanakh. Oh, it's the book. What other curriculum you want? It's all laid out. What's the issue? Bereshit bara Elohim, all the way to the end of B'rei Yamim. What's so hard about it? Is that not enough for you? Is the 24 books of the Mikra not enough of a curriculum? Because it's also notated, and it's also has nekudot, and it has ta'amim. That in itself will take you 5 years to create a well-rounded Jew. Translation, words. Wrote. No one likes to hear the word wrote. But at that age, you got to go wrote. Same way as A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P. That's called rote, even though it's some music. Same thing we do. Zarqa, shofar olech serolta, shofar olech rabia. The music of Am Yisrael. Pazer gadol, talsa, azla, gerish, and so on and so forth until they know the full Torah inside, downloaded inside of them. Full Nebi'im, full Ketubim, downloaded inside of there. If you're doing anything less than that, you're wasting brains. You're wasting Jewish brains. You can do whatever you want, but you're wasting Jewish brains, and you end up with a product that kind of like, yeah, we'll go to shul, yeah, we'll do it, yeah, like you have to push them. Hello, you'll make children that are gonna love the tradition. They're not only gonna say, no, I'd rather watch football. No, football. They'll know the lies of football, and they'll know why athletics, as good as they are and as healthy as they make you, secondary to knowledge. Reshit, Chokhmah, Yirat, Adonai. The beginning of wisdom is the fear of God. And this book, the 24 books, teach you the fear of God. So by age 10, now you have a well-rounded child where you finish the written word, Torah shebichtab. Now you could start Torah shebe'al peh, and you start where? ממתי קוראים את שמה בערבין? משעה שהכהנים נכנסים לאכול בתרומתן, הסופה האשמורת הראשונה, ברבי אליעזר, והחכמים אומרים עד חסות, רבן גמליאל אומר עד שיעלה עמוד השחר. You start Torah שבעל פה. Torah שבעל פה. What time do we read Shema? From when the Kohanim, that sugya in itself, even if you, let's just do Mishnayot. Okay, guys, we finished the written word. Now we're going to go to the oral law. Shah, that oral law. What does it mean? What does it even mean, oral law? The stuff that's not written, the stuff that we do today, even though it doesn't say you must say Shema twice a day. It doesn't say it anywhere in the Torah. No, nowhere. This is a later development of the Chachamim, because, it was the way had a Mikdash, then we no longer had a Mikdash. How do you keep the Jewish people together? How do we do this? It was a very tough time when Bitir fell, right? And we had a decimation. 95% of the Jews were slaughtered. 95%. And you had a leftover 5%, right? They had to make a decision. How do we keep this alive? We could have easily been done. So they made Torah shebe'al peh. What does this mean here? Okay, we say it means this. Beautiful. Good. And you connect the things. Why does it say Sedek Kochavim? Well, when the Kohanim go in to eat the terumah. Why they say it this way, not Sedek Kochavim, when the stars come out? There's reasons for all of it. Because while you're learning one thing, you're learning the other also. That at this time, the Kohanim eat terumah. And then there's different opinions. Rabbi Eliezer. What do Chachamim say? Talchasot. Rabban Gamliel. Ad sheya'ale amud hashachar. Right? And halacha kemoto. Halacha is like them. Why? Why are all these opinions there? 10 to 15. You complete the whole Mishnah and you memorize it. Which again, at that age, after doing 5 years of the Mikra, simple, because the Mikra prepares you and the Ta'amim prepare you, and you create a special type of brain that when it hears something, it stores it. Right now, what do we have? And even worse with the iPhone and the iPad and TikTok, right? Their brains are rotted. They're rotted, and we're further rotting them. And then if Friday comes, Baruch Hashem, it's Shabbos. That's what they think Judaism is. And I'm not, again, the song is very nice and Mabruk and so nice that we do the Kumzits and whatever it is. But that's what I'm paying on assistance $2,000 a month for. And I'm on assistance and I'm killing myself to pay $2,000 a month. And that's on assistance, so I have to beg for the $2,000 price. It's really $4,000 a month. You understand? And we are creating, and I see it. Listen, I have nieces and nephews, and I have a big family, and a lot of people that I see, and I love these children. I'm saying this out of love. I know I get upset. I'm saying out of love. And I see that they're apathetic to Judaism. Apathetic. Okay, let's discuss it. Chawal Mincha. No, Uncle Abe, I don't know how to do it. You don't know how to say Ashrei and Na'amidah? No, I don't know how to do it. What were you doing for 12 years? Shema Yisrael Adonai Elonu Adonai Echad. If you can't do Ashrei and Na'amidah in public, properly said, what were you doing for 12 years? I don't get it. And even to say it really, Hazit, the kids, right? You don't want to upset them. You want to build them up. But I'll tell you another story. My nephew Albert gave me a call. He said, you know what, Uncle Abe? Now that I'm in Israel and studying in yeshiva, they're teaching us Rambam, and it's so clear. It's so easy. Why didn't they teach this before? I said, Albert, you're preaching to the choir, right? Why don't you call one of the rabbis in your school and tell them this? Because they're not going to hear me. Never will they hear me. Bar Minan. Abe Manopla said it. It's like, okay, we go the opposite way. Call your rabbis, I told him. Call the rabbis in the high school. Call the main rabbi in the school and tell them this. If it comes from a child, right, then they'll listen. Comes from Ime, never going into the ear. And we've been at this. There's people, forget about myself, the Avi Beteshas of the world, Joey Mosseri, Morris Arkin, Joey Harari, Rabbi Joey Mizrahi, you name them, they all agree that it should be this way. They've been saying it, they get to their blue in the face. This is the way. And they know. And the current administration does not know. And for whatever reason, I call it the Satan. Satan yani means egos, just because of the egos of human beings. Satan is not just like a being, right? What is a being? So what does that mean? Right? Satan is when our ego gets involved. When we become selfish for being selfish. Or when we don't do something that we know is right, just because the person that's saying it. That's why I'm not doing this. This is Satan. That's what it's called. Go check Sefer Yov. Check what Rabbi David Qamhi says about the Satan. And who the Satan was when he was, speaking to God about Yov. Go check it out. That's what it means, Satan. I learned it actually when I did Sefer Yov last year in the Mishmara. So, Mishmara Satan min lefanenu me'acharenu. We really, Borei Olam, should break the Satan from in front of us and behind us. Because I really will not allow anymore another day. I'm not another day. Because I have a 7 and a 5-year-old, a 7-year-old boy and a 5-year-old girl. I already allowed, and I was mebated. I was like, I allowed. Okay, my first 2, it's not going to happen. And I tried. My second 2, I think it's going to happen. And I hope and pray that we hear the words and not get lost in, look who's saying it. Look how he acts here. Look what he says there. Look at the the hat and the glasses he wears sometimes. Or he did this once. Right? Let's hear. It's not about who says the message. It's about what's being said. I hope this is accepted. And I hope that we could use the 5-year window that each of our children who are the jewels of our life have, and use it properly and have a better education. Who cares about the tuition crisis? Education crisis is the most important because our children are the future. Our children are all we have, and without them, there's just no Judaism to continue. That's why we say, Banim zecharim la'avodato yitbarach, male children to serve him Blessed be He. All the best. Have a great day.